coming off its two most watched TV shows in a year, including drawing its joint highest rated quarter since April '99 last Monday with a 4.8 rating for the War Games cage match. WCW, looking to build on the momentum of the past 2 weeks, had two of the most proven rating attractions in the business, with a wedding segment announced for tonight and Ric Flair's TV return after 3 months out for the David Flair wedding in his hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina, leading to the most optimistic predictions for Nitro on a competitive Monday night in months, as along with the Flair return the company loaded up the show with a promoted Nash vs. Steiner title match for the main event and the final build-up to the two top matches for the Fall Brawl pay-per-view on Sunday, with Goldberg vs. Steiner and Booker vs. Nash for the title. As Nitro, with a Filthy Animals vs. Chronic Tag Titles match, opened strong from the start with a 2.8 rating, its highest rated opening quarter since June. With Eric Bischoff not seen since the Hogan-Russo Bash at the Beach incident, Eric, in an interview during the week, confirmed that he's working for WCW but not on the television product, responding to claims that he's heading a group to buy the company, saying that he met with Brad Siegel but it had nothing to do with any deal to buy WCW, with Russo in a production meeting in the office on Friday allegedly responding to Eric's claims, insinuating that he was negotiating to buy the company since April and as a result wasn't fully committed to increase numbers. Nitro continued to climb in every quarter during the first hour, peaking with a 4.1 rating between 8:45 to 9 p.m. featuring a Nash and Steiner skit going over the finish of their match tonight, with Nash suggesting Steiner to lay down in a similar finish to the talked-about Hogan match at the Georgia Dome, followed by Jim Duggan coming out for a promo announcing his retirement from wrestling just before the top of the hour, with Nitro's overall first hour showing a massive increased interest as indication of the past 2 weeks getting more viewers to sample the product and return on the night, with the hour averaging a 3.4 rating with a big increase in viewers per home totaling over 4.6 million viewers, making it the most watched hour of WCW television since the first hour on September 27, 1999. On a night that was also Russo's final Raw in person as the WWF head writer. With the expectation that the company would place the David Stacey wedding segment with Ric's return when Raw goes on the air for the first time in 3 weeks at 9 p.m., Nitro instead crossed over the top of the hour with the end of the Doug and Storm segment, followed by a Storm vs. Morris match going 3 minutes, with the wedding starting in the second half of the quarter with Foley and Rock already in the ring on Raw, eventually bringing out Ric Flair at 9:13 p.m. to a big ovation from the Charlotte crowd, with the first quarter drawing a 3.1 rating, one of the top 3 highest rated opposed opening quarters of the year. On the first night of 2 sold-out shows in the same building, with the America West Arena in Phoenix selling out in less than an hour, leading to the company booking the SmackDown taping tomorrow in the same venue, which also sold out almost immediately with over 30,000 people in back-to-back nights in the same market. Mick Foley opened Raw for the follow-up of SmackDown, which saw Steve Austin announcing his return at the Unforgiven pay-per-view in a taped promo from his home in Texas, with Foley starting the investigation on the way to the event, calling out the car driver to reveal himself to bring out Rock to the ring, to a massive reaction, teasing a heel turn before shutting down Foley's questioning to establish that he didn't run over Austin, saying that he already gave his word to the cops the night after Survivor Series last year while hyping Austin's return on the pay-per-view, turning to his own business, cutting a promo on Kane, calling him out either for tonight or for Unforgiven to bring out Chris Benoit, saying that he should be the #1 contender, followed by Kane and Taker to start a 4-way brawl, which also saw Kane taking out Foley, setting up the main event for tonight with Rock and Taker against Kane and Benoit, with Rock's challenger to be announced after the match, as Raw was back to its regular time slot at 9 p.m. for the first time since August 21st, with a 5 rating for the Big Star Power promo segment, rebounding quickly from the last 2 weeks with the opening quarter among the highest in weeks, even going against the larger-than-usual Nitro audience. With Rick's return crossing over 2 quarters, returning towards the end of the first into the second, with an angle of him being ordered by Vince Russo to be taken out of the building. Nitro, in a rare situation after already opening stronger than usual, not only maintained but increased its viewership in the second opposed quarter with the Flair wedding segment, while only on screen for 5 minutes in a shorter appearance than expected, spiked Nitro Big to lead to the highest rated opposed half hour since January, with this segment followed by a medical update of Vince Russo after legitimately suffering another blow to the head last week from Ernest Miller's kick in the cage match, with Russo appearing on the WCW Internet show minutes after Nitro went off the air on Monday night, with him noticeably showing the effects of the hit to the head during the interview, resulting in him being taken off the road after he was originally scheduled to attend the Thunder taping a day later on Tuesday, before returning for the regular creative meetings later in the week, with Raw going against the Flair segment. Russo update: and Sting vs Harris Brothers match dropped slightly to a 4.9 rating in a quarter that's usually an almost guaranteed viewership gainer, featuring a Dudleys vs Hardys tag match for a title shot at Unforgiven and the start of a Lita vs Ivory title match. With it now being made clear that Ric Flair was out of the picture and driving out of the building, the second part of the wedding angle, which saw Stacey revealing that David is not the father, saw Nitro taking a major hit, dropping around 1 million viewers, as after staying at an almost year high above the 3 rating range for the past hour, the 9:30 to 45 p.m. quarter dropped to a shallow 2.4 rating, while Raw in the direct turnover picked up approximately the same amount of viewers that Nitro dropped, jumping from a 4.9 to a 5.7 rating for a quarter, featuring the end of the Lita vs Ivory match, Kurt Angle and Mick Foley setting up 2 matches for tonight, and mainly an Eddie Guerrero Chyna segment with Eddie getting back with Chyna, followed by a tag match of Eddie and Chyna against Too Cool going 4 minutes. After the big drop in the past 15 minutes, Nitro rebounded big for the promoted Nash vs Steiner title match, with Goldberg making his first appearance of the night as the special enforcer, with Goldberg's most talked about appearance of the week coming last Wednesday in a segment with Bret Hart, opening up on the legit issue of Hart's career potentially ending due to a series of concussions suffered last December and January, as what ended up Bret's final WCW appearance was also one of his most talked about during the run, in a memorable confrontation with Goldberg that saw Steiner laying him out, with Bret responding to the praise of the segment, saying that nothing about it was acting, as he was legit feeling concussion symptoms following it while having headaches and balance issues to signal to him that he's not close to be in condition for a return to the ring. As the Nash-Steiner main event ending in a brawl with Goldberg, Booker and the Thrillers group driving a bus into the building, gained over 800,000 viewers to a 3 rating, with Nitro overall drawing its highest rated show with a 3.2 rating since Russo's final show in the first regime on January 10th, and due to increased interest on the night with more viewers per home tuning in, drew its most watched Nitro on an opposed week in a year, maintaining practically the entire unopposed viewership who sampled the show last week, in a positive sign of momentum heading into the Fall Brawl pay-per-view. with Nitro drawing one of its most impressive ratings of the year, even going against now increased sports competition to close the gap on Raw to 2.7 rating points, the closest margin between the shows on an opposed hour since the night after Starrcade on December 20, 1999. Raw had the chance to pick back up viewers who missed the show in the past 2 weeks at 11 p.m. with Nitro ending exactly at 10 without going into an overrun, crossing over the top of the hour with Triple H facing a mystery opponent which turned out to be Chris Jericho, going 5 minutes with Angle and X-Pac interfering for the finish to pick up over 1 million viewers to a 6.3 rating in the first unopposed quarter, with the second half of it followed by an Acolytes vs. Right to Censor tag match going 3 minutes. With the WWF USA Network court case delaying the massive advertising campaign planned by Viacom on the way to Raw's debut show on TNN in 2 weeks, as while the move is all but officially confirmed due to USA appealing the court decision for the move, the appeals court still didn't officially reject USA's appeal to cause further delay to the multi-million-dollar marketing campaign set for TNN, with the entire network about to be rebranded and built around Raw, with Viacom reportedly already having the TV commercials on Raw's move to TNN ready to go on the air the second they get the green light from the court decision to run it on multiple networks under its umbrella, including UPN, CBS and MTV, as besides Steve Austin's official return to the full-time schedule, the company are set to announce a loaded card for the show from next week to let the USA Network viewers know about the move on the actual Raw broadcast a week in advance, with Raw's second hour seeing its biggest spike of viewers for a full quarter coming between 10:30 to 45, with the Kurt Angle handicap match against Test and Albert going 3 minutes to a 6.5 rating, followed by a post-match angle of Stephanie getting in the way of the Kurt and Hunter brawl while getting hit several times to build to the first Angle vs. Triple H singles match on pay-per-view after months of build-up. Raw's main event entrances started a minute from the top of the hour, with Rock's entrance taking place just as the show crossed over 11 p.m., going 8 minutes in the overrun with Kane and Benoit going over, ending in a brawl with Mick Foley on commentary announcing a 4-way WWF title match for the Unforgiven pay-per-view main event in 2 weeks, with The Rock and Taker vs. Kane and Benoit tag match jumping over 900,000 viewers to peak the night with a 6.8 rating. As with Raw now expected to take a hit going against the start of the football season, Raw's second hour viewership still remained at record levels and ended up the most watched hour of the week on cable television, averaging over 8.5 million viewers to outdraw the football game on ESPN, with the main event peaking with over 9.2 million viewers, with Raw returning to its regular time slot with a 5.8 rating overall.